Many years ago, in the beautiful city of Owerri, there lived a man named Obinna. Obinna was a very handsome young man and was doing very well for himself. He owned several hotels and filling stations, so he was very wealthy. Obinna was one of the most eligible bachelors in the city of Owerri, and he knew it. Girls were flocking all around him from front, right, middle, and center. Obinna partied and clubbed every night, splurging millions at the club with his friends and string of girlfriends. However, Obinna's mother, Madam Ezinne, was worried and was always on Obinna's neck. Each time she called her son Obinna, she would usually say, Obinna, 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 how many times did I call you? To which Obinna would usually answer, 3 times, Mama. And then she would go ahead and say, Obim, what did I ever do to you, Obim? Don't you know that you're my only child, the only eyes that I see with in this world? Obim, do you want me to go to my grave without carrying my grandchildren? Obinna, answer me. Madam Ezinne would say as she burst out in tears. Obinna would always try to console his mother, but he loved his mother very much and did not want to keep hurting her. So even though Obinna was not ready to leave the streets and was not ready to abandon and forsake all the different sizes and shapes of women, he decided that he was going to get married just so he could have children and make his mother happy. But Obinna decided that if he was going to leave the streets for good, then he needed to marry a very beautiful wife that had front and back. That is, that was very busty and had big hips and bum bum, and still had a fine face on top of it. So his wife had to be a slay queen. He also told himself that he did not just want her to be a slay queen in terms of looks, but she also needed to be able to satisfy him very well. She had to satisfy him in bed as much as other 50-something women he had been with had satisfied him. He still wanted her to be very homely, as in know how to cook and take care of the home. And he still wanted his wife to be God-fearing, prayerful, and be a woman that fasts often so she could cover the home spiritually. So Obinna was looking for the full package in a wife. He was looking for a beautiful woman who had the slay queen vibe with a sprinkle of the Holy Spirit. So a few weeks later, after having dates with several beautiful ladies, Obinna had finally found the girl he wanted to marry. Her name was Amaka. She was his complete spec. She had all the assets he was looking for in a woman. She was very beautiful and had the slay queen vibe with a sprinkle of the Holy Spirit. Madam Ezinne was just happy that at least her son had found a woman that he wanted to marry. So a few weeks later, Obinna got married to Amaka in a very lavish wedding ceremony. They were both very happy. Obinna had mixed feelings. He knew that his wedding meant that he was saying goodbye to all the beautiful ladies of Owerri. But then he knew that it was the right thing to do. It was time to become responsible and settle down and build a family of his own. Madam Ezinne was also very happy that at least now she knew that she was going to be carrying her grandchild in a matter of months. Obinna and Amaka were so happy and so in love. Obinna was a very good husband and doted on his wife Amaka. He provided every single thing that she needed and spoiled her silly. For the first 1 year, Obinna stayed faithful to his wife. He could not even believe that he did not sleep with any other woman aside his wife. Even his friends Chidi and Chika teased him one day saying, guy, wetin happen now? A whole striker like you. See as you dey humble now with only one woman. If anyone had told me that you, Obinna, a whole Obinna that is reigning everywhere, can keep that thing in between his legs in one place, I would have sworn that it was impossible. But see you now, my guy, you shock me, oh. Marriage is very good, oh, Chidi said, laughing sarcastically. Omo, marriage is good. And you see my wife, Amaka, she sabi. Forget that her innocent, pretty face. That young lady knows how to keep me wanting more. Why will I now look outside when my wife knows all the bedmatic styles in every playbook? And she knows how to cook again. If I knew I would have gotten married since, Obinna replied. And they all laughed heartily. 1 year later, Amaka found out that she was pregnant, and when she shared the good news with her husband, Obinna, he was so happy. At least now he could fulfill his mother's desire. Obinna quickly called his mother over the phone to inform her, saying, "Mama, we are pregnant, oh," Obinna said excitedly. Madam Ezine was so happy. She danced and danced till her legs could no longer carry her. Over the next few weeks, Amaka had a very difficult pregnancy. She had all sorts of morning sickness. She was always tired and began to put on massive weight and was even getting very dark due to hyperpigmentation. Amaka was no longer the slay queen that Obinna had married. And soon enough, Obinna began to get very frustrated about how Amaka looked. He no longer found her appealing and beautiful. So Obinna began to slowly go back to his old ways. He began staying out late at night and started jumping from one woman's bed to the other. His old life had resurrected. Amaka was very sad. She never expected that pregnancy would humble her the way it did and make her go from being very beautiful to being very fat, dark, and unattractive. She felt also very bad because the same man who had put her in the condition that she was now found her very unattractive and had abandoned her and was now sleeping all around with different girls. She had talked and pleaded with her husband Obinna severally, but he refused to turn a new leaf. A few months later, Amaka gave birth to a bouncing baby boy. Obinna was very happy. Even his mother Ezine had come to celebrate with them, and they were all very happy. Amaka was very happy that at least now that she had given birth, she would be able to lose all the pregnancy weight and would go back to becoming a slay mama and probably would win the affection and love of her husband once again. So Amaka started exercising more, and then she also started trying to control her food portion. But it was very difficult for her. She would exercise vigorously and eat small portions of food during the day. Then at night, she would end up consuming a huge plate of food because she had starved herself all day. Amaka was very frustrated. Instead of losing weight, she was gaining even more weight. Obinna had gone from not even finding her attractive to making jest of her. Obinna no longer touched her, and each time Amaka tried to seduce him, he would burst out laughing, saying, "Wait though, hey, what is this elephant trying to do? Abeg, just stop, please stop. It does not even fit you at all. Please don't get me angry this night. Look at you. See how you have left yourself. Now you look so disgusting. Oh, so you expect me, a whole me, a fine man like me. Look at me well, oh, I am a hot cake. Women rally around me. You expect me to lay with you when I have options? God forbid. It is either I am drunk or I have to shut my eyes for me to lay with you, considering how fat and shapeless you have become." Obinna would reply, laughing and mocking his wife, Amaka. And Amaka would reply, crying and say, "Obinna, remember that I got fat while trying to have our child. Besides, losing weight is not easy. It takes a lot of time. You know I'm trying my best." Amaka would respond, crying. And Obinna would laugh and say, "Biko, go and lie down and sleep. We are not doing anything tonight. I cannot bring myself to touch you. Or better still, go and pray for us, me, your husband, and your child. At least if you cannot fulfill your marital obligations, then go and pray for the home. Go and cover us spiritually." Obinna would say angrily. And then Amaka would have no choice than to go to sleep. Amaka would cry and cry. Soon enough, Amaka started having inferiority complex. She was ashamed of her new body and how she looked. She began to spend most of her time praying and crying to God to restore her husband's love for her. But it was to no avail. Obinna had gotten even more wild, planting his seed in anything on skirts. He was once again living like a bachelor. One day, Amaka was speaking to her best friend Chioma over the phone and said, Chioma, my marriage is in jeopardy. Chioma, my husband has not touched me in months. In short, ever since I gave birth. He says that he no longer finds me attractive because I am fat. Forgetting that I gained all this weight while trying to have our baby. Chioma, you know how I was before now. Chioma, I was a hot girl. Now I'm just fat and ugly. Chioma, I'm tired. I miss my husband's touch, his love, his affection. I have prayed, I have begged him, yet nothing seems to be working. I don't know what to do. I want things to return to the way it used to be. Amaka said, crying profusely. Calm down, my friend, calm down. Do not beat yourself up. Do you know that you just gave birth to a full human being? Do you know what your body had to go through just to bring forth life? Please do not even torment yourself. Yes, some women are very lucky and they snap back really fast after giving birth. But this is not the case for everybody. But it is foolishness on your husband's part to treat you badly just because your body has changed. Anyway, do not bother your pretty head about it. Is that why you are crying? When you have a friend like me, Chioma. Baby girl, I got you. I'll be in your house first thing tomorrow morning. Chioma replied, trying to comfort her friend. So Amaka thanked her friend profusely, feeling very hopeful, before she dropped the call. So the following day, Amaka's friend Chioma visited her after Obinna had gone to work, just as she had promised. Oh yeah, let us go out. Hurry up so we can return before your husband comes back. Chioma said hurriedly. Where are we going to, Chioma? You didn't tell me that we'll be going anywhere. Amaka responded, looking worried. There's a woman that I will take you to. It's not a fetish house, so as a matter of fact, she's a prophetess. She would give you something for your husband. And I can guarantee you that your husband will never sleep with any other woman in his life. Chioma said reassuringly. Amaka, I don't think I can do this one, no. What if there are negative consequences? What if something backfires? Chioma replied, looking afraid. Which negative consequence? See, my dear, nothing will happen. How do you think I tamed my husband? And now he sits at home with me and the children. See, my dear, 95% of these men behave like dogs. So you need to tame your own dog so that they don't give you infection and so that they stop embarrassing you every Eke market day. Chioma replied, and they both left for the prophetess' house. Upon getting to the prophetess's house, Chioma narrated every single thing to the prophetess. The prophetess reassured her and told her not to worry, and then gave her a small cream and then said, take this cream and apply it just before you lay with your husband. And after that, he will be glued to you forever. And if he ever sleeps with another woman, he will not like what will happen to him. Prophetess Angela said reassuringly. But the problem now is that my husband no longer touches me or even sleeps with me. As a matter of fact, he has not touched me in over 6 months. So how will I make him lie with me? Chioma asked, looking worried. Here, take this powder. Put it in his food. After he eats it, he will be all over you and then you can use the cream. Prophetess Angela replied. And so Amaka thanked the prophetess and left her presence happily. So that night, when Obinna came back home, Amaka prepared his favorite meal and added the substance that Prophetess Angela had given her. As soon as Obinna was done eating, it was as though a spell had been cast on him. And for the first time in a long time, he looked at his wife Amaka lovingly and said, Nne, Imaka o, you are beautiful, exceptionally beautiful. Obinna said lovingly. Oh really? I have not heard you say this in a very long time. Oh. Amaka replied shyly. Don't be angry, Nne. I must have been blind or stupid. Please come closer. Come now. Come now, Norma. Obinna said, looking lustfully at his wife. Amaka was so happy, and that night, for the first time in months, Obinna fulfilled his marital obligations towards her. Unknown to Obinna, that Amaka had already applied a special cream that the prophetess had given her. Amaka was so happy. For the next few days, Obinna came back home very early and spent really quality time with her, playing and laughing like before. Obinna no longer complained about her weight or how she looked. They were back to being a loving family that they once were. However, a few weeks later, Obinna's eyes started wandering again. He started chatting with different girls of different sizes and shapes and sneaking out to make love calls to them. Amaka was very sad and got very worried. She called her friend Chioma once again, crying and said, "Chioma, my husband has gone back to his default setting. He has started chatting and talking to other girls. I thought you said that your prophetess is powerful. I followed all her instructions, but my husband changed just for a few weeks and now he's back to his default setting." Amaka said, crying, "Don't worry your head, my friend. Just calm down. See, I trust this my prophetess with my life. Don't fret, just hold on." Chioma said, trying to comfort her friend. So Amaka decided to just keep calm like her friend had advised her and just observe her husband Obinna and wait for what the prophetess had done to start manifesting. One day, Obinna went out one evening to go visit his mistress named Sandra in her home. And just when he was about to start having fun with her, he noticed that his manhood had disappeared. Obinna was very shocked and afraid. What is happening to my manhood? Where is my manhood? Sandra, what have you done to me?" Obinna asked, looking very afraid. Sandra too was shocked and replied saying, "Please, oh, I have no idea what you're talking about. Please, I beg, just leave my house. Get out of my house." Sandra replied angrily. And so, Obinna returned back home. Immediately he got home, his manhood returned back. He was so happy. Amaka, on the other hand, was very confused. She wondered why her husband was behaving strangely. He was busy smiling at his manhood. The following day, Obinna decided to try again. So he went to another of his mistresses' house named Linda. And immediately he tried to sleep with her again. His manhood disappeared. Obinna was very afraid. So he called one of his friends, Chika, and said, "Guy, I think I'm cursed though. My manhood has been disappearing anytime I try to sleep with any other woman aside from my wife." Obinna said frantically, "Which one is your manhood is disappearing? I don't understand." Chika replied, looking confused. "Did I put water in my mouth? I said my manhood disappears each time I try to sleep with a woman that is not my wife. Something is wrong with me." Obinna replied frantically, "Guy, be like say they don't curse you. Are you sure you're not under a curse? Doesn't this mean that you should be staying faithful to your wife? Guy, you better stay one place so before one day it will disappear and will never come back." Chika replied. And after they had spoken for a while, Obinna returned back home. And again, immediately he got back home, his manhood reappeared again. Throughout that night, Obinna could not sleep. He thought long and hard, and he realized that he was being punished for being unfaithful to his wife. He was very afraid that what Chika said might really happen, no, that his manhood would disappear one day and would never come back. So the following day, he decided to turn a new leaf. So he knelt down, crying and promising God, saying, "Please forgive me. I will never cheat on my wife again. I would love her and take very good care of her and would never even blink twice at another woman." Obinna said, praying and crying to God. Amaka was very happy to see her husband praying to God and promising him to turn a new leaf. So after a few weeks of watching her husband and monitoring him closely to know whether he has really changed for good, She felt very compassionate towards him and secretly called the prophetess Angela, who told her to put some of that powder back in Obinna's food, and that when he eats the food, he will be made whole again, and that his manhood will never disappear again. So Amaka did as the prophetess had instructed, and Obinna became well again. Obinna was so happy. He always checked his manhood from time to time to make sure that it was still there. And although Obinna did not know where what had happened to him had come from, he was just truly happy and grateful that his manhood was no longer disappearing. Obinna no longer cheated on his wife. And each time any of his mistresses called him and said, "Baby, you have stopped coming around to see me. I miss you so much," Linda would say, "Who is your baby? Don't you ever call me baby again. I'm old enough to be your father. I only have one baby, and that is my beautiful wife. So please, don't you ever call me that nonsense again." Obinna would respond angrily. Amaka, who always eavesdropped on his calls, would be so happy. She smiled with pride. Now her husband was back for good. He had learnt his lesson and was now faithful to her. Obinna, on the other hand, continued to be there for his wife. But since he did not like how fat Amaka had become, he tried to help her lose weight. He started going to the gym with Amaka and also started eating more vegetables with his wife just to show moral support. And in a few weeks, Amaka had lost so much weight and had gone back to being the beautiful, sexy wife that Obinna had gotten married to. So Obinna and Amaka were once again a very happy and loving family. Hi besties, it's your girl Omalicha again. Thank you so much for watching my story to the end. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on this one. So why is it that for some men during pregnancy, they always find an excuse to cheat on their wives? Whereas a woman would ordinarily not cheat, why does it come to men so easy to cheat? And also, if you were in Amaka's shoes, would you have, reversed what you did, or just, still hold on to the charm just in case he goes back to his old ways? Please share your thoughts with me in the comment section, and please support your homegirl Omalicha by subscribing to my channel, liking my videos, and sharing with your loved ones. So now, till I come your way again with more interesting stories, bye.